Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 7 of What If Naruto had a new dream that will change everything. Go ahead and get this one to 300 like as usual. Comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying and talking back to all of you guys. And also, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto. Well, the brand new series, What If Naruto was given the abilities of 4 devils. And enjoy that guys. And over on Anime King I post a new series as well. What if Naruto was blamed and it changed him? So go ahead and check out that as well guys. And I hope you enjoy each and every one of them. So without further ado, what is to begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last time we left off, as Naruto met Jiraiya, as the both of them got in the talk, as Jiraiya knew that he was his godson. But Naruto didn't seem too upset about it. Well, he was going to pay the man back by setting him up on a date with the kinkiest woman that he knew, which is going to torture him, as she loved to play a dominance role after all. So for the remaining time, Naruto trained with Jiraiya, as he also went to visit Hinata, as Hinata was unsure of Naruto's skills as she knew, just telling she knew that he could beat Neche, as he also wanted to help her with her training by putting some seals on her, but she would have to get naked. She ended up passing out, but after he told her that. For the remaining time, Naruto trained, and he also did some other training as he went by Kurena's house. Uncle and Kurena have been living with her some while now, and when Uncle usually brought guys over, they were gone in the morning. So Kurena was shocked when she stepped in the bathroom as she saw Naruto in there, drying himself off with a towel. Now she understands why Uncle was screaming so last night as she rushed out. As Naruto offered to give her one of his massage, as she accepted as he started to massage her until things turned heated, as Uncle then came in there, as the three of them went at it. For the remaining time Naruto trained, as he improved his techniques, he knew that he could already beat Neche, but he was working on something. Until they finally came, as Naruto and Neche was the first match. Tenten didn't believe that Naruto could beat Neche, but all of them were against her when they spoke, as they knew that Naruto would beat Neche, as the conversation started to go to rather sexual topics. As Asuma couldn't believe it, a kid beat him out. Yes, a kid beat him to his option that he wanted to take since 10 years now. As he couldn't believe it, he was surprised and shocked, as Kurena didn't go against it or say anything against it. After all, she was caught right in the act, and Uncle was making it worse by the way she was talking. So Naruto faced off against Neche, and Neche really didn't stand a chance, as Naruto created that thick layer of suit of water. The water was so dense that Neche attacks could not pierce through it at all, as Naruto quick put Neche in his place by using his chains. As Neche was easily defeated, showing that Naruto was holding back a lot. After all, he wasn't even fighting when he was facing off against Lee with his full power. He was only using taijutsu. Sasuke didn't arrive on time to the Hokage. Remember what Naruto said that he was a pushover. He decided to eliminate Sasuke as the other matches went on, as Naruto went down there to face off against Gaara, as the both of them started to clash until he got in that strange cocoon, as Naruto drilled into it with a Rasengan. As Gaara got hurt, he started to scream out, but at that moment Naruto saw feathers falling, as Kakashi and Sasuke had already arrived from earlier, as something was wrong. But Naruto put 2 and 2 together, as he saw Gaara start to lose control. He has to do something fast. So yeah guys, so it's basically that's where I left off. You guys can switch across to the page and check it out for yourself. So let's begin this new episode. Gaara was clutching onto his wound, as his brother and sister were at his side. As Naruto could not let them escape with the unstable jinchuriki, it was like he gave a damn about most people in his village, but there were a few people that he could not let get hurt. As he pulled out his sealing scroll, as he tossed a storage scroll towards Gaara, delayed release storage seals that released the contents several seconds after chakra was provided. As the thing landed, it then exploded with freezing cold water, as it soaked Gaara's sand and the three of them as well. As Naruto shot forward, his fingers glowing white, as he slammed his hand on Gaara's stomach, all of his fingers lighting up. 5. Elemental Seal. The demonic chakra build up in Gaara. Backlash knocked Gaara unconscious as it was cut off immediately. Gaara, Temar yelled, "What about your brother? What did you do to him?" As she readied her fan as Kankuro prepared Karisu on Gaara's other side. I blocked off Shikaku and screwed up his ability to use chakra. He won't be doing any demonic transformations as long as he got that seal on him. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got some things to do. As with that, he vanished in a burst of speed. Up in the stands, Kakashi saw that Naruto had sealed Gaara, so he didn't send anyone after the jinchuriki. He was going to keep them here where he could keep eyes on them to make sure his comrades were safe. Naruto rushed through the village as he occasionally struck down an enemy shinobi came upon. The ones from Sounds were incredibly weak, most of them not even tuning level. That wasn't important right now though, as he needed to get to Ayam. Tuki was important as well, but not anywhere near important as Ayam. Naruto has always made sure that she was safe in the village at all times, but that would not hold up in an invasion, as the criminals would not hold up against these Sound Shinobis, much less the Sand Shinobis. After all, Konoha, criminal underground, was no great power. It was just for the village and the weaker ones. As Naruto knew that the Hokage was trapped in that barrier, probably fighting Orochimaru, but that didn't concern him much, as he already did the village a favor by disabling Gaara. He was a bit worried about Hinata, but she was in the stand surrounded by the pulseless Jonins of Konoha, and Jiraiya was there as well, while Jiraiya probably headed off to face off against the snakes that were destroying the walls. He even felt a flicker of concern for his two idiot teammates. For a second or two, at least for Sakura. She has gotten bearable lately, not quite Uchiha obsessed as she used to be. As he finally made to the Ichiraku stance, just in time too as they were about to leave. To the shelter, Ayam, Toki, said Naruto. As they turned towards him, "Naruto, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be helping fighting off the invaders?" asked Ayam. "Never mind that now, I'm here to get you guys somewhere safe." As he grabbed the two of them and dragged them off to his home instead of the shelters. He didn't trust those at all. He had a basement fortified with seals that should withstand anything at all. On the roof behind Naruto, as Sound Shinobi was taking aim at him, there was very few ninjas that used bows, but this one had one. As he saw the blonde took down several other Sound Shinobis with ease, so he wasn't going to fight him, he was going to pick him up from a long distance. But he didn't know how much danger he was in, as two dangerous eyes were watching him. This insignificant worm wanted to take her Naruto away from her. He was too cowardly enough to even fight him in combat, as she wouldn't intervene in the overall battle. But this stupid assassination, this cowardly assassination made her blood boil. Naruto was hers and he would not be brought down in such a despicable manner. As the man's hand started to shake, he didn't know why, as he felt something like his time was going to end any moment now, as he felt incredibly scared. Time skip, as Naruto finally got the both of them home, into his basement, where everything was safe. As he exited his building, what the hell? As he saw the giant Shikaku coming towards the village. 15 minutes earlier, the Sand siblings were rapidly making their way out of the village, worrying about their younger brother. After the way that the blonde Uzumaki had disabled him and knocked him out, they weren't willing to risk getting into the fight now. Gaara was supposed to be their ace in this invasion. He was supposed to be their trump card. To have him being taken out by a genin was frightening, and all the two of them wanted to do was keep their brother safe after all. Even if he was a psychopathic killer, he was still their brother and they loved him. But they didn't get too far though, as the silver hair, Kabuto, appeared in front of them. They knew that this man was a subordinate of Orochimaru, and he was far more dangerous as he made himself out to be, and they knew that. "I'm afraid I can't let you leave with Gaara-kun. We need him for the invasion after all," he said in a pleasant tone. "Uzumaki did something to seal his chakra, so he can't do anything anyway. Just get out of the way," Temari snapped, as she was worried for her brother, and that made her short temper at the moment. "I know what he did and I can undo it. Just step away from him for the moment." "No way, after the way that Gaara got taken out, we're not letting you put him in danger again," said Kankuro, as he backed his sister up. "A pity," said Kabuto, with a fake disappointment, as he rushed towards them. Both of them were skilled enough to be tuning level, but Kankuro was on par with a highly skilled Jonin. They found themselves smashed away into a tree before they could even properly do anything. As this invasion served for another point as well, to make Sasuke see that Orochimaru, with the power that he had, could leave Konoha in ruins and assassinate the Hokage, to make the Uchiha greed and beg for that power when the time comes. Orochimaru didn't care what happened to his former home. He had much better motivations, and he needed the Sharingan to make those motivations true. As he made his way towards Gaara, 5 Elemental Seal. Unsealing! Gaara's eyes snapped open, but they weren't the green color which they usually been. They were the eyes of Shikaku. After being knocked out, by the use of the 5 seal element. The moment he regained senses, the demon took over his body. Back to the present time, Naruto incepted Shikaku before he reached the village walls. The thing was having some fun smashing up the trees. That was the only reason why he didn't reach Konoha yet, as he also saw Gaara's sister and brother watching from afar, looking terrified. Stomp, stomp, stomp. Shikaku giggled as he stomped forward. Naruto leaped forward and went through hand sign. Summoning jutsu, he said, as it was a massive poof. As Gamabunta took in what happened around him. What the hell, brat? Calling me here to fight this massive demon? Are you nuts? Make no mistake, he liked Naruto. The blonde was a great guy and a good drinking buddy. He was sure they could have a better drinking time, better than how his father acted. But he was not interested in fighting another demon after the Kyuubi nearly claw his eye out. Sorry Bunta, but I really didn't have a choice, Naruto. But let me get you some backup. Summoning jutsu. As a giant toad appeared next to the toad boss, he was as large as him, as he had a giant shield, and aside from matter, as Naruto didn't have enough skill with summoning yet to perform multiple summons. Gamaken block and distract Shikaku while Bunta blast him with water techniques, as Naruto leaped off the summon's head and sped to his side as he was going to attack from the flank. I will do what I can, Naruto-san, though I'm ungraceful. As Gamaken moved forward. No, 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 you're not gonna keep me from my fun, said Shikaku as he blasted wind towards them. Oi, brat, how about waking up that red-headed kid sticking out of Shikaku's head, said Gambunta, as he blocked the wind attacks with his own water once, as massive gusts and rain poured down. As Naruto narrowed his eyes as Gamaken clashed with Shikaku as he saw the red-headed figure up there. Naruto pulled all of his water sealing storage scroll as he grabbed them with his chains. The chains extended until they were over Shikaku as he released them as the water poured down on Shikaku, exploded out in a torrent. Gah! I hate being wet, said Shikaku as he roared, as he blew a sandstorm towards Naruto. The wet sand was slimy right off his body as he had to put more power to keep himself steady. Needle Jaizo, said Naruto as his hairband broke as his hair came around and rocked him up. As the sandstorm did not affect him as he was trapped inside of his hair. Naruto was hoping the water would wake up Gaara, but it seems like he has to do something more drastic, as he knew that if killed Gaara, the demon would be released, and it would act like a rabid animal. From what Zana told him, it was because of Gaara, why the demon is acting with a bit of sense. I'll kill all of you bastards, Shikaku yelled, but a massive water ball smashed into his head, as he was unable to block because of the Gamaken Sajima slamming into his neck. As Naruto let his chains wrapped around Shikaku's feet, as they became vicious with spikes on them. As Naruto started to pull it, the thing Akaka chain saw started to saw right into his leg. But Sandaime smacked down under the chain. As it destroyed, Naruto felt the chakra loss, creating physical chains out of nothing. When they were severed, it lost a lot of chakra from his body. When they went in back, it wasn't bad, but when they were severed with so many lengths, yes, his chakra just seemed to take a dip. This combined with summoning two of the most powerful summons, yes, it put a damp in his reserves, as he picked himself up after being dragged a bit. But Shikaku was collapsed on his left knee, as the two giant toads were harassing him dangerously now that he was down. Brat, you gotta wake that kid up fast, I'm running out of chakra, and Gamaken isn't going to last much longer. As Naruto created a chain that shot forward. Seeing that Gamaken and Gambunta were knocking him and holding him down, the chain struck Gaara in the face. Gaara's eyes snapped over from the blow, as it felt like his jaw was cracked. No! I just got out Shikaku's scream, as his body started to break apart and collapse, as his consciousness returned back to the seal, as Gaara collapsed down in the sand. Me and Ken are gonna be going now, brat. Don't call me for something like that again, said Gamabunta. Goodbye, Naruto-san, said Gamaken, as the both of them poofed away, as Gaara started to back away. No, no, you won't end my existence, he yelled as he started to step away. Shut up, you moron. I'm not gonna kill you, said Naruto, as Temari and Kankuro jumped to his side, as they were shocked that Gaara was defeated, and that this blonde still looked like he had enough energy to fight as well. Gaara then clutched at his stomach as he groaned in pain. Gaara, what's wrong, said Temari, as Naruto appeared and ripped off the shirt that Gaara was wearing, as his seal was glowing bright red. His seal is degrading because of the 5 elemental seal. If this keep up, then Shikaku's gonna break out soon, said Naruto, as he unsealed his brush and his ink. Who will sacrifice Seal Ichibai, said Naruto. What does that have to... But Naruto cut her off. There is no time for stupid questions. Answer me, he said. Our mother. Gaara was still in her womb when his demon was still inside of him, said Kankuro, as Naruto cut his wrist. Hold him down tightly. If I don't get this right, we're all gonna die, he said. They did as they were told as they hold Gaara down. As Naruto did his chains bind Gaara as well. As he used his blood and started to draw on the seal, modification that he hoped would work the way he wanted to. He wasn't able to practice this, so it had to be done right on the first try. The seal, drawing his own blood flow, mixed a bit of ink and sank down to Gaara's stomach. Gaara then suddenly settled down. They all got off Gaara as he stood up. He didn't say anything for a while, he just looked. It was like he was in a genjutsu, and he was broken out of it. Mother says thank you. Why is she thanking you instead of demanding blood? Temari and Kankuro was confused as he looked towards Naruto. Anytime that Gaara spoke about mother, it was always about feeding her blood. But no, thank you? So they were quite shocked to hear that, as they didn't know how to react to that. When Shikaku got sealed inside of you, your mother's soul was taken with it, because you were in your womb at the same time. If I had to guess, I would say that you were hearing both of their voices inside your head, and your mother was trying to keep Shikaku influence away from you. You mean your mother was stuck inside a seal with a bloodthirsty demon all this time? Asked Temari. Yeah, but Shikaku wasn't able to do anything against her. He was just probably annoying her. He was much more dangerous to Gaara. Was, said Kankuro. I modified the seal. Shikaku was so weakened by the fight that he didn't really put up much of a fight. I buried him deep and placed a lot of restrictions on him. The only voice that you'll be able to hear now is your mother's. And you can also sleep without worrying about the Ichibai taking over. Mother said that you're telling the truth, but I can only remember hearing one voice, said Gaara, looking confused. It's your mind, Gaara, so it probably sounded like the same voice, but it was actually two of them, said Naruto. Mother agrees. As Gaara went silent for a while. Temari, Kankuro, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. Mother said that you did your best to take care of me all this time, and I never appreciated it. Temari hugged their brother. As Kankuro put a hand on his shoulder. It's okay, Gaara, we're just glad to have you back. As Gaara managed a strange smile, as he wasn't used to it. He then turned to Naruto. Thank you, Uzumaki Naruto. You have given me back my family, and making me see that living for myself is a worthless existence. You told me once that you grow strong for the sake of love, and I can see now what strength it gave you, and I will seek to do the same. As Gaara was going to mention that Naruto said he was going to do it out of love for the Kyuubi, as he knew that was dangerous information for anyone to have. I know he actually felt guilty for revealing Naruto Jinchuriki status. And I'm sorry that I told everyone you're the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Don't worry about it, Gaara. I don't really care if they know or not. Now you three should get out of here before some idiot, Konoha Shinobis, tried to take you three as prisoners of war. They gave him a grateful nod before they rushed off. While calling me impressed, said a voice, as arms wrapped around Naruto and held onto his chest. You defeated Shikaku. I had a lot of help, said Naruto, as he knew that she was coming. True, but it was impressive nonetheless. Very few would have been capable of doing that. Well, I'm glad you like the show, said Naruto as he turned around her in embrace, putting his own arms around her. I did indeed. I also found it quite exhilarating, she said. Truth be told, she was worried when she saw him going up against Shikaku, but seeing him asserting dominance and taking out Shikaku had made her all hot and bothered. On hearing that they were out in the open, Naruto pressed her up against the nearest tree. Time skip, as Kiba, Shino, Sakura, and Sasuke appeared. Everything was already done though, as Naruto was just standing there, as he looked at all the destruction. Kakashi-sensei sent us to back you up, Naruto, as she noticed there was no enemies there. They were sent here to keep the other enemies off his back, while Naruto deal with the Ichibai. I've already taken care of everything, so let's just get back to the village. Sasuke looked like he wanted to explode, as the boy looked rather jealous. That kid needed to chill out a bit. Naruto, why do you smell like sex? Kiba asked, with a slight blush. Don't worry about it, Kiba. I always smell like sex, said Naruto. But you didn't smell like that before coming here, said Kiba. I wonder, do you really want to know the answer to that, said Naruto. Naruto, please don't tell me that you had sex, even while Konoha was being invaded, said Sakura. Alright, Sakura, since you asked so nicely, I won't tell you, said Naruto with a smirk. This is highly illogical, said Shino. I know, right? Who asks dumb questions like that, said Naruto. I was referring to you engaging in sexual activities while your home was being invaded by hostile forces, Naruto-san, said Shino. Alright, I'm deducting 20 mad points from you, Shino. It's never illogical to engage in sexual activities. Man points are also illogical, said Shino. That's 40, said Naruto. Time skip, 11 Genins were making their way towards the private training ground of Naruto Uzumaki. Most of them were anxious as they wanted to speak to him learn that he was from the Uzumaki clan, as that was a clan, and that he was a son of the 4th Hokage. Even Sasuke was anxious as well, as he wanted to know And what made it even worse, he was a jinchuriki of the Kyuubi. They had managed to get his location out of Ayam, as it took them a long while, as she didn't want anyone that had ill feelings towards Naruto because he was a Kyuubi jinchuriki to go to Naruto and talk to him. But they ensured her that they did not. None of them did even know that Naruto had a private training ground. And the crazy thing was, he built it. The third funeral was 2 days ago, as he died in the battle. And Naruto was there for this specific time until he vanished back, as that didn't give anyone any time to talk to him. As they passed through posts that looked like they were meant for punching and kicking, as you could see dry blood on them. Man, he sure doesn't know the meaning of taking things easy, Kiba said, as he looked at the blood-stained logs. Naruto overflowed with youth during his training. If I'm not mistaken, then the seals on that tree over there increase the weight of your training ground area, said Lee. Wait, you mean he keep the same kind of seal activated that he used to defeat me while training? Neji asked as he couldn't believe it. He was barely able to move while the seal was activated, and Naruto used it for training? No doubt that he also have his resistant training seals activated as well, said Lee. All of them were shocked as he passed by a tree where Naruto clothing was laying on it, all of it underwear included, and they could hear a river nearby. Maybe we should come back later, said Sakura. Since you're here already, let's just get this over with, said Naruto as he came from behind a large rock. They all jumped a bit as he didn't expect him to be that close, as Naruto was in a large pool that was created by the use of an artificial dam. The water was quite clear and he was obviously naked. Well, what are you here for that is so important, and Ayam would tell you how to find this place? He would have been upset with her, telling them about his private training ground, but he knew that she was just trying to look over him. She was of the opinion that he should make some friends from his graduation class, even if they were just a bunch of kids. Well, we were curious about you being the son of the 4th Hokage, and you being the Kyuubi jinchuriki, Ino said awkwardly, trying hard not to look at the water that wasn't hiding anything because it was so clear, as the others were attempting the same thing. What about it, Naruto said in this interesting tone. Well, being the son of 4th Hokage is a big deal. You must have been excited to find out about it, huh, said Ino. I know about it for years now, said Naruto, and if it was up to me, no one would have actually known. The only reason I revealed it, because it was a way to get the damn council off my back, as he was still annoyed at the elders or forced him to do that. But why would you want to keep something like that hidden? Sakura asked in shock. He probably didn't want any of his father's enemies going after him, Shikamaru said. Troublesome, he muttered. Actually, it's because everyone will start acting like you guys, like if it matters who my parents are. They're dead and gone, so it doesn't matter the slightest bit who or what they were. How can you just disregard your clan and family like that, Sasuke asked, as he was surprised on Naruto's being towards the heritage. All of the Genins present, except for Sakura, Tenten, Hinata, and Lee, was always confused by his words. They have always been told to take pride in their clan, and to hear someone disregard such a rich heritage was strange. Hinata had spoken to him about something similar, so she knew he took no real value. Easy, because they're not here, and they never have been, said Naruto as he got out of the water. As Hinata barely hung on to consciousness, the fact that she has gained a tolerance around him for embarrassing things. It also helped that Neji stepped in front of her, blocking her view. The two of them are reconciled after Hayashi had spoken to Neji, and they were rebuilding a relationship. The others weren't in any danger of fainting, but they were horrified by the experience, as they turned away. Damn it, Naruto, at least warn us before you do something like that, Sakura shouted. You're the ones who walked in, said Naruto. Beside from that, I have nothing to be ashamed of anyway. You wouldn't be like this if you were a woman, said Sakura as she felt pretty pissed off at her teammate. Wouldn't I, said Naruto, transform, as a 6'2" Amazon now stood in front of them. How do I look now, female, Naruto asked. What the hell, man, you can't just go gender bending like that. Why the hell would you even do that, said Kiba. As he was blushing bright red, all the others were blushing as well. I got curious about lesbian sex one day, he said, as he released the transformation and put his clothes on. They all decided to just block out that last part. They was not even going to think of it. So, you're the Kyuubi jinchuriki, said Kiba. Yes, said Naruto, because Kiba was dragging it on, so he wondered what was his point. What's it like having a giant demon seal inside you, Kiba blurted out, as the others face planted. Oh, I feel normal in the day, but at night, said Naruto, as his face twisted. I get cravings. What kind of cravings? Asked Choji. As Choji knew about cravings, after all, he got up in the middle of the night sometime, feeling so hungry that he couldn't even go back to sleep. Cravings. For the blood of virgins, said Naruto. Ew, Naruto, that's disgusting. Ino and Sakura said. As Naruto simply chuckled, you're all just too damn easy. Does it give you more power? Is that the source of your strength? Sasuke asked. Being the Kyuubi jinchuriki gave me a nice set of teeth, along with these whisker marks. along with so much chocolate that I can create my own jutsus. But as that was going on, Naruto was thinking how to increase the reserves. Yes, he need to. Because seeing the fight with Shikaku, he got his reserve cuts in half. If you want to know how I got this strong, then you should have just asked Lee, said Naruto. Yosh, Lee said, the answer is hard work. Naruto is someone like me. Someone with no talent, but a genius of hard work. Sasuke scowled as he wasn't hoping to hear that. He knew that he worked hard as well. He put in hours of training every day, so why was Naruto so much stronger? As Naruto wasted so much time chasing women, it shouldn't be so hard for him to catch up with him, so why was he always leaving him in the dust? Before anything else could be said, a whirlwind appeared, as Jiraiya appeared out of the sunshine. Oi, Naruto, get your things back. We got a mission, he said right away. You know, I got trained to do. And why would I be going on a mission with you, said Naruto. We're going to find the 5th Hokage and bring her back to Konoha. And you're coming with me, because I want you to. No thanks, I'd rather continue my training, said Naruto. As Naruto already prepared everything he needed to, if the new Hokage would cause trouble for him to become a missing ninja. Yes, he already prepared everything. What? You think you can just sign a man-something contract and say goodbye? Oh no, we're in this for the long haul, kid. You and me, brat, we're gonna be as good as married until I teach you everything I have to. You're my apprentice now, that means you're coming with me. We're gonna convince my old teammate to become Hokage, said Jiraiya, as he grabbed Naruto in a headlock. You taking Naruto as an apprentice, Jiraiya-sama? Does that mean you won't be on the team with us anymore? Despite how hard he was to deal with, she didn't want her to pull off Team 7. Don't be so respectful to this pervert, Sakura. It will go to his head, said Naruto as he got off the headlock. That's so mean. My own godson keep on forgetting that I am a super pervert, said Jiraiya. Sakura felt her respect for him shrivel up and die right there and then. And to answer your question, no, Naruto will still be part of Team 7. I'm just gonna pull him away, time and time. Wait, you mean you're gonna bring Tsunade-sama back to take up the position of Hokage? Tenten asked with stars in her eye. Got that right, little lady, said Jiraiya. Can I come too? Please, she pleaded. Tsunade was known to be one of the most powerful kunoichi in this world, and Tenten was, well, a big fan. She desperately wanted to meet her and maybe even talk to her. Well, I guess, said Jiraiya, there wasn't any particular reason not to take her along, as she let out a squeal and quickly covered her mouth. Time skip, as Kakashi was leaning against the wall of a tea shop, reading his porn, waiting for Sasuke to arrive. Jiraiya has left the village, taking Naruto and Tenten along with him to search for Tsunade. And right now Sasuke has demanded training from him since he had been gone. As Kakashi was proud of him all, as Naruto was already showing the signs of surpassing his father eventually. And Sasuke was a highly talented shinobi, but his attitude needed to be improving a bit. And Sakura was also showing signs of becoming a strong kunoichi, as she was not obsessing about Sasuke so much anymore. Aside from looking out for Sasuke, he was also keeping an eye on the two individuals. Black cloaks, red clouds. Jiraiya had told him about the Akatsuki, and it was surprised to know that they were here. I can't go on a date with you, he heard Kurenai said. Why not? Asuma asked in a disappointed tone. I'm already involved with someone, she said, as they stopped next to Kakashi and nodded at each other. Kakashi narrowed his one eye towards them, as he looked towards the boot. They continued on as normal, giving no sign that they were aware of a nearby threat. Don't tell me that you're in a relationship with Naruto. That guy's a total womanizer. No, Naruto made it clear that he isn't looking for a long-term relationship, said Kurenai. She did not deny the fact that he was a womanizer, as he already made that clear. Who then? Asuma asked, as he was honestly disappointed that Kurenai could meet someone so fast and get in a relationship, as he thought that he still had some time. She sighed to herself. Honestly, it wasn't any of Asuma's business, and she knew that he wouldn't push it if she wanted to keep it quiet. But spending time around Naruto and Uncle, who didn't really seem to have any shame, either of them, made her feel silly if one keep the secret. Uncle, as Asuma started to choke on his cigarette. Wow, he said after getting himself in composure. I didn't know that you swing that way. I didn't used to, but then Naruto and Uncle got me into a threesome, and things just went on from there. She said that shrug, making Asuma gape like a fish once again. Kakashi laid his book across his heart as he felt so prideful of his student. He couldn't have been proud if Naruto was his own son, as a tear slipped from his eye. Truly, the next generation always surpassed the previous. Kakashi, you're early, said Sasuke in surprise, as he knew that he needed to get in as much training as possible if Naruto was the prince of a Sanin. Well, someone turned all the clocks in my apartment 3 hours forward. Kakashi said that I smiled. Well, let's get to the training, he said, as he brought his student away from what was supposed to be a dangerous fight. Kurenai and Asuma were going to have to manage on their own until they get back. Time skip, on the road. So, Jiraiya-sama, you said back in the village that Naruto's your godson, said Tenten. Yeah, Minato and Kushina made me his godfather because the fourth was my student. The fourth must have been some kind of super genius to become as powerful as he was at his age. After all, he was so young, said Tenten. He was as dumb as a rock and twice as stubborn. That was the real reason why he became so strong. People like to say everyone that becomes strong is a genius to make themselves feel better about it. But true genius are pretty rare, and most of them don't make it as far as they could. People call me a genius nowadays, but when I was a genin, I was just a loser, said Jiraiya. Oh, said Tenten, as she never thought of it that way. That's actually a lot more impressive than being a genius. You're pretty amazing, Jiraiya-sama, she said. Of course, I'm the great Jiraiya-sama, he said. There's no need to be so respectful to this perverted hermit, Tenten, said Naruto. Oi, you got some nerve calling me a perverted hermit. Considering the things that you get up to, said Jiraiya. Considering that all you do is chase and peep on women, and then get beat up by them, while I actually get somewhere, your title of hermit suits you quite well, said Naruto. As Jiraiya grumbled to himself but didn't continue the argument. This is where we'll be staying, he said, as he walked into an inn. As they were handed a key, both Jiraiya and Naruto noticed a pretty young lady walk past, black hair, brown eyes, and was wearing a black katana flowing down, with high heels. She stopped as she looked at the both of them, and she gave the both of them an invited look. Why don't you two go in the room while I take this pretty out on a date, said Jiraiya. What's wrong with you, old man? She's clearly interested in me. Why don't you go and settle down while I show her a good time, said Naruto. Oh hell no, you already got into half, the woman in Konoha. You're not taking half around the countryside as well. The gallant Jiraiya shall save this beautiful young lady from you. As both of them quickly move forward towards the girl, Tenten was left with the key as she sweat dropped. Why do I feel like an annoying little kid that just got ditched so they can go and do grown-up stuff? Out of sight, two men were also sweat dropping. Looks like your diversion worked a bit too well, Itachi, said Kisame. As he chuckled a bit, it wasn't often that one of Itachi's plans backfired like that. I had not anticipated that the Kyuubi Jinchuriki would share Jiraiya's weakness for women. Inwardly, however, he was pleased. He alerted both Jiraiya and Konoha about the dangers of Akatsuki, with none being the wiser about his deception. Are we still going after the Kyuubi? They will be aware of us soon. The Kyuubi is out of our reach for now, said Itachi. Time skip, it didn't take them long to figure out that the girl was under genjutsu. It was kind of hard to miss when she didn't even register Naruto's existence when he was right in front of her. As they made their way back to Tenten to find her talking to Sasuke, who was looking a bit frantic. What's up, princess, said Naruto. Where's Itachi, Sasuke said, ignored the nickname. How the hell am I supposed to know that, said Naruto with a scowl. He came to Konoha looking for you. Well, that would explain who cast genjutsu on that girl, Jiraiya interjected. Itachi, it's always good to genjutsu, said Naruto. How did you know that, asked Sasuke. You know that we're the same age, right? He was my classmate in the academy, before he just skipped ahead and graduated. More to the point, why would Itachi be after me? Well, it's not him specifically, it's the organization you work for, the Akatsuki. They're trying to gather all 92 for some reason, Jiraiya informed. As it was no reason to keep that hidden, since everyone already knew about Naruto's status right here. Aside from that, if the enemy was trying to keep secrets, blowing those secrets would be detrimental to them somehow. As Naruto thought it over for a moment, someone out there can't be trying to reform the Shinju, because there wouldn't be any sage of six paths to stop it this time. How could someone even know about it? Well, he couldn't think of any other reason for them to try and do it. So, this must be the reason. But why? And who? Well, at least he could rest easy to know that they were doomed to fail. Since he released Xana when he was 15, even if they were somehow able to subdue her, she wasn't like other Bijus. She wouldn't fight a losing battle. She knew the value of a strategic retreat, and they would never find her if she didn't want to be found. As he realized that they would still try to capture him to find out if he knew where she is, so it doesn't matter if he revealed that yes or no. Who else is in this Akatsuki to ask? I don't know the names of the other members, but they're all supposed to be S-rank missing names, said Jiraiya. You'll be able to recognize them by the black cloaks, the red clothes that they wear. Do you know how many of them there are, said Naruto? 9 or 10. But this isn't completely reliable information, said Jiraiya. So I got at least 9 S-rank missing names after my ass. Huh, that's just great, said Naruto in a sarcastic tone. Can't a man work towards getting stronger to marry the woman that he loves, and not having to worry about a group of missing ninjas trying to reform a powerful beast, and trying to kidnap him in the process? Damn it. Time skip as Guy arrived and took Sasuke back to Konoha, as the three of them continued their search for Tsunade. Tenten was shocked how easy Naruto blew out the threat of that many missing men. But Naruto already had his mind set up. If he wasn't strong enough now, he would become strong enough soon. She could understand why people like him and Lee became strong. They were just too stubborn to ignore anything. She found herself rather annoyed for the rest of the days, as the two of them mainly focused on women and always drinking sake as well, as they found it amusing to irritate her with their antics. but Naruto is always stealing away Jiraiya ladies. I can't believe you too. We're supposed to be looking for Tsunade-sama and you're wasting time, said Tenten. Places like this are actually good for information gathering, said Naruto. He was on a couch with 4 ladies dancing around him. Naruto is right, someone always hears something in these kind of places. Jiraiya agreed as he was looking at that passing girl, rear end. You're too tense, Tenten. How about I pay for one of these girls to give you a massage, said Naruto. Absolutely not, she said. The 3 of them made their way to Hokage, as they ran into the same woman that they were looking for after they decided to get something to eat. Tsunade? Shizune? Fancy meeting you here, Jiraiya said in a cheery tone. I just seem to run into old face lately so much, said Tsunade to herself. Ran into Orochimaru lately, have you, said Jiraiya. Yeah, he came to brag about killing Sensei, she said, in a dismissive tone. So tell me, what are you here for? Alright, I'll get right to the point. I'm here to ask you to become the 5th Hokage. Tsunade snorted, no thanks. Being Hokage is a fool's job. You seem rather quick to spit on your own family and Sensei, said Naruto. Who's this, Jiraiya? Your new apprentice? As she looked Naruto up and down, not making any mentions of his shirtless attire. Yeah, Naruto and Kushina boy actually. Naruto, he just made Genin a few months ago, said Jiraiya. The quality of your apprentice has gone down. He seemed dumber than the last one. And it took him so long to become Genin. And he also seemed like a pervert walking around with his shirt open like that. Hey, said Naruto, I don't care if you call him a worthless piece of shit, as he pointed at Jiraiya, who shouted at him. But if you're gonna say something like that to me, you better be ready to back it up with your fists. Oh yeah? Well then, let's take this outside, perverts, it's Tsunade. Tenten and Shizune both sigh, as they had been silent the entire time, as this just went crazy so quickly. Tenten had to say her first impression of Tsunade wasn't all that great, but she still found someone she could look up to. Though, she was surprised how young she looked, and not to mention her chest size, as she looked down. She shrugged it off. She was a bit worried about Naruto though. Tsunade was a Sanin. She was gonna pummel him to the ground. I'll only need one finger to take care of someone like you, said Tsunade, as she prepared her finger. Tsunade, I don't think... Jiraiya was interrupted by Naruto. Oh, so that's how you want to play it? A humiliation match, said Naruto. Well, bring it on, Tits. What did you just call me? She asked furiously. You don't like your new name, Tits. Well then, get over here and do something about this, said Naruto. Too enraged. To say another word, she charged towards him, ready to poke a finger right through his skull. Tsunade hasn't trained or fought in years, which has weakened her quite a bit, as her skills were rusty and dull. So Naruto avoided her furious attacks with that finger. But she surprised him when she stepped on his foot, and finger flicked him as he was sent sailing and smashed into a wall. That will teach him, she said. Huh, that almost hurt, as he came out cracking his neck. In fact, it hurt quite a bit, but she does need to know that. Tsunade charged at him once again, as she was going to knock him out for at least a week, as he avoided her attacks until she hit him again, this time much harder. But he poofed away, confusing her for a split second. That split second was all the reason Naruto needed, as he used chains to pull her arm behind her, as he kicked her in the knees as his chains wrapped her in her arm in a spiderweb motion, so she could use her super strength to break them out. But the chains also extended and wrapped her in her ankles so she couldn't use her feet either. The chains also went her on her breast and went down and wrapped her up tight, and they also form a collar around her neck. Everyone always falls for a Shark-Clone trick, so long as they don't know you can do it, said Naruto. It's kinda funny really. What the hell is this, you bastard, she roared, her face red from humiliation and anger. Don't worry, Tits, said Naruto. You're gonna be fine. When I get out of here, I'm going to rip what makes you a man off and make you eat them. As she shouted loud enough to make the walls shake around them, and every civilian here in range run. As Tenten and Shizune were blushing, even Tauntaun seemed to be a brighter pink than usual. As for Jiraiya, Jiraiya knew that he was going to die when she got out of those chains. It didn't matter if he was his godson. As long as he was associated with the man that did it to her, yes, she was going to literally kill him. She might as well kill every pervert in the city. As he heard her curse up a storm, he decided to just enjoy the sight until he met his end. You know, Tits, you're pretty loud, said Naruto, as she stopped to get some air. I got just a thing for that. Screw you and everyone you know, she shouted, as Naruto placed a red, bald gag in her mouth. As Jiraiya had to admit, she looked quite sexy right now. If he somehow survived this with at least one arm, well, he'd have to write a book about this. But his godson was crazy enough to do this. Crazy bastard must have balls made from pure diamond. Naruto, why do you have a ball gag with you? Jiraiya asked in a rather calm tone, as he was going to die, so yes, might as well not think about much things right now. When you can form chains at will, you never know when a ball gag might come in handy, said Naruto. As Jiraiya nodded, that made sense to him. At least he figured that out before he died. Naruto-san? Don't you think it's time to release Tsunade-sama? You're the one that fights as Shizune. Shizune, was it? Shizune nodded as she was still blushing a bit. You see, if I let her go, she won't learn a lesson. And by the way, she looks like she wants to kill me right now. Might, everyone thought, as Tsunade was basically frothing from the mouth with rage. What lesson are you going to teach her? Asked Tenten. As she still couldn't believe it. That just happened. No matter how much she tried to cancel his genjutsu, it wasn't happening. There are 3 things you should know in this world, said Naruto. As Alton leaned forward, you never mess the man money. You never mess the man woman. Or you never mess the man ego. Or the man is going to mess with you. As you see, Tits here insulted me and tried to kick my ass with just 1 finger. So I just humiliated her back. I was just better at it. Jiraiya was surprised. His godson just made that sound logical. Huh. Chain her up and gagging her. Time skip, the entire group was in the hotel. Tsunade was still chained up, as Naruto was the one that carried her. As she stopped trying to shout at the moment. Instead, she was working on a technique that would shoot fire from her eyes, the way she was looking at him. As Naruto removed all the chains that went to her own specific area, like her breast, and one that went straight down, and underneath and up. I need to talk to her alone for a while, said Naruto, after they were done making room arrangements. And I mean just talk to her, Jiraiya, said Naruto, as he saw Jiraiya getting a pervert look in his eye. As Naruto sat down, are you going to start yelling again if I remove the gags, Tsunade? He asked. She glared at him but made note of the fact that he wasn't even calling her tits anymore. As she shook her head no, as he removed the ball gag. She had never been so humiliated before, and it was taking all her willpower to not yell at him and curse at him. As she knew that he would shove the ball gag back in her mouth if she did that. Well, what do you want to talk about, she said, her voice filled with resentment. I'm wondering why you have a grudge against the office of Hokage, he asked. If you resented just a particular Hokage, I could understand. But I'm wondering what the office did to you. She stayed silent as Naruto waited until she spoke. It took my loved ones away from me, she said. How did he do that? Naruto asked dryly. My grandfather and granduncle got themselves killed because they were Hokage. Sensei got himself killed because he was Hokage. Even your father got himself killed because he was Hokage. Except for Sensei, all of them were still young. If they hadn't been Hokage, they would have lived longer, she said. They died protecting what they love and they consider it important, said Naruto. Because they consider all of Konoha important. Even if they weren't Hokage, they would have risked their life to protect the village and died for it all the same, said Naruto. I know that, she snapped. Konoha has done nothing but take the people I love away from me, even the man I love and my brother. How is Konoha to blame for their deaths? Naruto asked. They want to be Hokage as well, that was their dream, to protect the village. Konoha, will of fire, drove them to their deaths. They died chasing after their dreams. That's a better death than most people would get, said Naruto. What do you know, she said. You're just a stupid pervert anyway. I got my own dream, and I don't care how dangerous it is to pursue it, said Naruto. If I die trying to reach it, then so be it. I think your loved ones must have the same thing, said Naruto. So the fact that they died chasing their dream, make it alright, she asked. That they left me alone is supposed to make it alright, she asked, her voice cracking a bit. You'll be joining them soon enough, Tsunade. And you know that they wouldn't want you to be wasting away like this, your time that you have. Wouldn't it be better to carry their dreams in your heart instead of hurling insults at them? Naruto asked. He knew that he didn't have that comfort if he failed. Zana wouldn't join him in the afterlife, she was immortal. He knew what most shinobis, most Orochimaru had become in their search for immortality. He knew that it was not wise to seek eternal life, but then again, he never said that he was wise. And what about Shizune? She's been putting her life on hold to take care of you. Doesn't she deserve to have a life as well? As Tsunade knew that was true. Shizune never really complained before. She was 28 and she never really have a life. Because Tsunade was dragging her around the elemental nations. She had to put up with her drinking and gambling. Often had to carry her to her bed after a drinking phase when she passed out black drunk. And what about this dream of yours? Do you want to become Hokage as well? Asked Tsunade. As she did most to get her mind off the previous train of thought that she was having. I'm afraid that hatred of being the Kyuubi Jinchuriki hasn't left me with much fondness of Konoha for me to become Hokage. The only reason I'm protecting the village is because some people I like live in it. Well then, what is this dream of yours? She asked. I think I'm gonna have to keep that secret for a while longer, but I'll tell you about it one day, okay? As he removed the chains, as she stood up and stretched. So, are you gonna accept the position of Hokage? Give me a week to think about it. Oh, and Naruto, she said. He was sent sailing by a smash to the face. That was her calling me tits. She then walked over and kicked him in the gut. She didn't add any chocolate to her hits. And that was her chaining me up, she said. And she then stomped on his chest. That was for the ball gag. Naruto spit out some blood that Tsunade left. as he was already healing. Well, I think that went really well, he said. But guys, let me end this episode right here. If you want the next part, if you don't know what to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notification to stay posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also go ahead and check out the brand new series, What If Naruto Was Blind? And it changed them, guys, over an Anime King. And also on this channel I post a new series, What If Naruto Was Given Abilities by 4 Devils. So go ahead and enjoy it as well, guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new, but I'm off now. See you guys soon. Peace. I'm out for you guys.